All right, everybody, it is the All-Star break, but before we go to the All-Star festivities, let's check out what happened in the weekend before the All-Star game. This is Locked On MLB.
You are Locked On MLB, your daily MLB podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, baseball fans, and welcome to Locked On MLB, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. This is the daily podcast. We talk about all of Major League Baseball. I'm your host, Paul Francis Sullivan. Please call me Sully. I'm an Emmy-nominated television producer. I've been a writer, filmmaker, comedian, appeared on HBO Sports, ESPN2, and now I am in your earbuds as I've been podcasting for well over a decade. And now I'm here as part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it's your team every day. Thanks so much for making us your first listen. This show is being dropped on the 19th day of July. I believe it's the 19th day of July. Yeah, it's the 19th day of July, or it could be the 18th day of July. Do you know what? It's on Monday. I'm recording this part early in the morning on Saturday because I'm going to be breaking down what happened during this whole weekend of games. We got a lot of stuff to talk about with the All-Star game, All-Star festivities, reviewing the first half of the season. But let's look at the final weekend because there were some interesting games that happened, and I only know Friday's results. Follow us at Locked On MLB Pods on Twitter and on Instagram. I'm your pal Sully. I'm at Sully Baseball on Twitter, Sully Baseball Podcast on Instagram. So an interesting day on Friday. The Orioles winning streak came to an end despite Urias having a pair of home runs. It was the Tampa Bay Rays. Remember them? The Tampa Bay Rays, did their number and won that game 5-4. If you listen to Dan Roderick's the other day, talk about how Baltimore is starting to embrace this team. And the Orioles are still in it right now. But 10 games, that's a heck of a streak. That is a heck of a streak. And one to make Orioles fans, you should be happy about that. I don't mean to sound condescending, but you really should. But you know what's better than 10 games? 11 games. And that is exactly what the Seattle Mariners did on the road. They had a come-from-behind game on Thursday, and they jumped ahead to a 4-0 lead. Rangers brought back to within 4-3. And then Mr. Rodriguez, grand slam. Robbie Ray gets the win. Robbie Ray only had one nasty inning the whole game, and he's continuing to prove that he is the ace that the Mariners signed. And Seattle now has an 11-game winning streak as they go into these final two games against Texas. Seattle is now, they are a wild card team right now. I do want to say just as one quick thing. They are 10 games back of the Astros. 10. That's a big mountain to climb to say that the Mariners will play 11 games better than the Astros for the final half of the season. But it's not impossible. If they could chip away and they go into August with it being a single-digit lead, I'm not saying they're going to do it, but it wasn't long ago that the West was an absolute foregone conclusion that the Astros were going to win. And at one point, it looked like they were going to be the only team with a winning record. Now, as I stand here right now, or sit here, however you want to look at it, I do think the Astros are an elite team. I think they have as good a chance as anybody to beat the Yankees in a short series, but you don't know. You don't know. Just last night, Sky Bolt of the Oakland A's, great name. Please be a star, because baseball needs players with names like Sky Bolt. Sky Bolt hit a 2-run home run. The A's wound up being the Astros 5-2. The Yankees and the Red Sox played another weird Yankees-Red Sox game. The Red Sox did everything they could to hand the game back to the Yankees. Of course, Aroldis Chapman again let up a big home run, this time to Bobby Dahlbeck. And Tanner Houck was absolutely dreadful. Throwing a ball away, hitting a batter with 2 strikes on him. And the Yankees had the bases loaded, nobody out in the 9th, couldn't score, had the winning run on base in the 10th, and couldn't score. And somehow, on a weird, wild pitch, Bogarts scored and the Red Sox wound up, breaking their winning streak. The only team the Red Sox have beaten in the last 10, 11 games have been the Yankees, which is weird. But, the Yankees are still entrenched in first place, but the Red Sox are still hanging on to that wild card spot because the Blue Jays won again. Manoah was fantastic. And Matt Chapman hit a big 3-run home run in that game. And the Guardians are still hanging on, and they wound up winning their game 6-5 against Detroit. Jimenez got the big hit in that. A couple other games of note. The White Sox have made a statement. The first 2 games against the Twins, they've won and won big. This one was a 6-2. Adam Engel got a big 3-run home run in that. So the White Sox are not going away. The American League wild card race is starting to tighten up. And with the Twins loss, so is the American League Central race. The Cardinals are holding on to their playoff spot. They are 7-3 win. Have you noticed the Rockies are in a winning streak and they're chipping away? They won 13-2. And, another classic Coors Field game. CJ Cron and everyone got a big home run. The Padres wound up winning. The Giants were losing 5-2 in the bottom of the ninth. Hader on the mound, and he let up home run after home run after home run, finally allowing a walk-off grand slam to Mike Yastrzemski, and the Giants wound up walking off 8-5. Bad news if you're a Brewers fan to seeing Hader falling apart like that. And the player of the game, the player of the night was Kershaw. It's humiliating for the Angels because in early June, they were a playoff team. And now they're one of the worst teams in the American League. And the Dodgers came to town, and it sounded like Dodger Stadium. Sounded like there were no Angel fans there. None. And Clayton Kershaw took a perfect game into the 8th inning. And it was a 9-1 Dodger win. The Angels are a mess. And the Dodgers look pretty good. It would not stun me if it's a Dodgers Astros World Series. But we'll see. We'll see. So that's what happened on Friday. And when we come back, we're going to review Saturday. Okay, let's talk a little bit about BlueNile.com. Whether you're ready to pop the question or you're celebrating a milestone moment, find jewelry as unique as the one you love with the modern convenience of online shopping at BlueNile.com. Hey, I'm going to a wedding. I'm going to be an officiant at a wedding. And by the way, if you want your pal Sully to be an officiant at your wedding, just send me a link and I'll be there. And I'll recommend to all of you to get the ring and all the necessary jewelry at BlueNile.com. If you're looking for fine jewelry or if you're having trouble choosing, Blue Nile has jewelry experts on hand 24/7 available via phone or chat to help you find the memorable gift at any budget. Make your moments sparkle with BlueNile.com, and going on now is the Blue Nile Anniversary Sale. Save up to 40% on classic fine jewelry pieces with 25% on engagement ring settings. Plus, every order is insured, ships for free, and arrives in discreet packaging that won't give away what's inside. Shop stress-free and find your forever piece at BlueNile.com. Which NFL stars move the betting line the most? Starting July 18th, Locked On gives you the 50 most valuable players in the NFL from odds makers at BetOnline. Available July 18th on Locked On NFL, wherever you get podcasts and on YouTube. Okay, it is right now Sunday morning when I'm recording this part of it. The games on Saturday are over, and I'll just briefly talk about the Red Sox Yankee game. It was a slaughter. Aaron Judge is showing why he's the AL MVP. Matt Carpenter has become one of the best pickups the Yankees have made, and he has a great 70s stash. Because Rafael Devers homered in the first, does that mean the Yankees' 14-1 victory was a come-from-behind victory? I guess it kind of does. The fact of the matter is the Red Sox are now out of the wild card hunt by half a game because the other teams in the American League have decided to show up. The Blue Jays topped the Royals with 3 runs in the top of the bottom of the 9th inning. Teoscar Hernandez got the big hit to win that game. The Mariners, their winning streak just keeps going. It's a dozen now. 3-2 was when they win. Another extra inning victory. J.P. Crawford got the go-ahead single on that one. Another extra inning victory. They topped the Rangers. And the Orioles got off the schneid and topped the Tampa Bay Rays. Yarbrough pitched a good game for the Tampa Bay Rays, but Ryan Mountcastle got a big hit. Adley Rutschman hit a game-tying home run. Lots of reasons for Dan Rodericks and all you Baltimore fans to start loving life. And obviously, I just said the Yankees, and there was one other. Oh, the Twins won. Polanco, he's been great since coming off the DL. Very important win for the Twins because the White Sox are slowly chipping away at that lead. And Jose Ramirez is showing why he's an MVP candidate as he homered a pair for the Guardians. Quantrill pitched well. It was a 10-0 victory for the Guardians. Justin Verlander is putting together another. I mean, he's putting together a Cy Young caliber season. He's incredible. He pitched. How many did he struck out like a dozen? I think it was. I knew it was a double digits. It didn't matter because it was a double digits, and the Astros won that one 5-0. A couple other big games there. The Phillies just manhandled the Marlins 10-0. The Giants won again, another close game. Eric Lauer pitched great, but the Giants doubled them up 2-1, an 8th inning go-ahead hit. The Angels are just terrible. The Angels are a terrible team. They're awful. They stink. They have Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani, and they stink. And they got clobbered again by the Dodgers 7-1. Urias pitched great. It was over by the third. The Angels stink. I'm sorry. There's no other way to say it. And it's a disgrace that we're not going to have, once again, we're not going to have Ohtani and we're not going to have Trout in the postseason. Here's how you know your day is going well. Your chief rival wins, and you still gain ground in the playoffs, in the standings. The Braves, behind Fried and Matt Olson's 3-run homer, doubled up the Nationals, who also stink. 6-3. Okay? 6-3. The Mets on the road win 2, count them, 2 extra inning games on the road, where dynamic defensive plays saved them in extra innings in both games. 2-1 victory on the road in extra innings in game 1, and 4-3, where the Cubs just absolutely handed the ball to the Mets. Bases loaded, hit by pitch in extra innings, and then an inexplicable attempt to pick off a runner at second base allowed both runners to score. Mets held on. Lopez, wiggled out of trouble in the bottom of the 10th, and the Mets gained ground. Another great performance from Max Scherzer. And despite the fact that the Braves won, they gained ground. They gained half a game. And excuse me, the wild card situation is tightening in the American League. The Red Sox fell back, but the Guardians gained a little bit of ground. The Orioles are only 2.5 back. The White Sox are only 3.5 back. So the wild card situation is getting interesting. And the Giants and the Phillies are knocking on the wild card door in the National League. And look out for the Colorado Rockies, who have won 5 in a row. They're still well under 500, but they're not giving up easily. So we're going to see what happens. Today is the final day of games before the All-Star break. And we're going to see how some of these games unfold. You have Strider's pitching, and he's pitched well for Atlanta. For Red Sox Yankee fans, thank goodness it's not a late game. Chris Sale is going up against Cole. Red Sox fans, you better just cross your fingers on this one. Bieber is throwing for the Guardians as the Guardians are trying to catch up there. You all know what's happening in some of these games. And the most intriguing game, for at least for your pal Sully, the Red Sox Yankees is intriguing. I'm really interested to see if the Mets can complete a 4-game sweep of the Cubs and really establish themselves as the elite team of the National League along with Los Angeles. And of course, can the Mariners make it 14 straight going into the All-Star break? You think it's never a bad time to win a complete week of games? How about 2? That's all I got to say about that. That is, if they win, what would be the odds of winning 14 straight games? I think pretty low. Lower high. You know what? I don't quite understand betting. Was it the odds are low or the odds are high? The chances are low. The odds are high. I don't know. This is why I don't bet. But if you bet, you should go to betonline.net. It's your number one source for all your betting needs and sports info. Find all the latest sports developments, league reviews, and news, including Major League Baseball, including MMA, including boxing, including golf. It's the easiest way to check in on all your favorite sports and events. BetOnline continues to be your source for wagering information, including live betting, esports, and scores. And BetOnline remains the best spot for your scores, podcasts, and news this season. Head to the website today or use your mobile device to learn more about the trends and action. BetOnline is where the game starts. Well, the games are over. And, if you're a Red Sox fan, it was not pretty. Chris Sale broke his finger in the first inning against the Yankees. It turned into a bullpen game. And by the fourth inning, it was 3-2. It's like, hey, is this going to be an interesting game? And the answer is no, because the Yankees put up 8 runs in the fourth inning. Hey, if you're a Red Sox fan, I'm just going to say there's probably not going to be, at least for a little while, a lot of Red Sox talk here unless they go on a real run. They have lost 10 of 13. Obviously, that's not good. Oddly, those 3 wins they have were against the Yankees, but they're 12-16 against AL East teams. They're just, they're above 500. They'll probably finish above 500, but they're not a playoff team, and they have to turn things around. And until further notice, there are other teams to look at. The Nationals broke their losing streak and the Cubs broke their losing streak. So, good on to the 2 teams that have recent World Series titles. I think their managers may be on the line, and who knows at this point. Kirk hit a go-ahead 2-run homer that put the Blue Jays ahead of the Kansas City Royals 4-2. The Orioles lost again, but they've still finished. They go into the All-Star break at 500, which nobody on the planet Earth thought was going to happen. But Randy Arozarena and the Rays took that game. The Phillies are on a little bit of a roll, and the Marlins forgot how to score. Aaron Nola pitched quite well. Munoz homered. Bohm got a double. That was a 4-0 Phillies win. The A's, look at the A's. The A's did a good job. They were down 3-0 to the Houston Astros. And then Stephen Vogt got the go-ahead single in the 8th inning, and they wound up winning that game 4-3. The White Sox are coming on strong, and Dylan Cease pitched another great game. Tim Anderson got a big hit. Andrew Vaughn's been heating up. The White Sox are also at even 500, which is not where they were just a few weeks ago, and they are creeping up on the Minnesota Twins in terms of, basically the American League Central. Right now, the Twins are tied in the loss column with Cleveland, and they are only 2 games ahead in the loss column of Chicago. According to the standings, they're 2 games ahead of Cleveland and 3 games ahead of Chicago. But still, that Central, which for a little bit looked like the Twins were about to run away with, but the Twins have lost 7 of their last 10. The White Sox have won 7 of their last 10, and suddenly the AL Central looks like it might be kind of interesting going into the post-All-Star break. And who knows, if one of those teams makes the right move to fill up a hole or two, that might be pretty good. Hey, it's never the wrong time to win a week's worth of game. How about 2 weeks worth of games? And the Seattle Mariners, they won again. 6-2 was the final. And with a 14-game winning streak and with Houston's loss, the Mariners have cut the Houston lead into single digits. Now, it's still a long way to go. And 9 games, do I think the Mariners are going to play 10 games better than the Astros? I'm not sure, and neither are you. But the fact of the matter is the Mariners are making this interesting and are playing at a super high level, which is what I thought they would be playing at the beginning of the year. Better late than never. Brandon Belt hit a 2-run home run. Jock Peterson got a big hit. The Giants went on a rampage. They were up 7-1 after 3, and they held on to a 9-5 victory over the Milwaukee Brewers. Now, the Giants, as of this recording, going into the All-Star break, are not a playoff team. They are half a game behind the St. Louis Cardinals, but they are knocking on the door. And with their pitching depth, they could be a dangerous, dangerous team. Right now, 4 teams are in wild card positions in the National League. The Braves have the best of the wild card positions. San Diego is next, and then the Philadelphia and St. Louis are in a virtual tie with the Giants only a half game behind that. The Giants have the pitching to make things very interesting coming back from the All-Star game. Any other games to report? As I mentioned before, the Cubs managed to hold on. They had a 2-run rally in the 8th inning to finally break that losing streak. And the Diamondbacks beat the Padres 3-1. Peralta homered, and Varsho made a big defensive play. The Guardians and the Tigers were rained out. The Reds and the Cardinals were rained out. And for some reason, the Dodgers and the Angels didn't play. So there's no games scheduled on Monday. The All-Star game is on Tuesday. And there you have it. There's the weekend in review. This week, I have a couple of episodes with my buddy Millard. In fact, we recorded a long session on Sunday, and I'm going to break those up into a couple of episodes. But we're going to have some fun. Thanks so much for making Locked On MLB your first listen. Make your second listen be Locked On MLB Prospects with Lindsey Crosby. There's lots to talk about there. The Major League Baseball draft was also this weekend, and we're going to be covering some of that in upcoming episodes this week, as well as my conversation with Millard. And we're going to cover the All-Star game as well. So it's going to be a fun week here at Locked On MLB. There's not going to be a lot of games to cover, but lots of baseball to talk about. So this has been the Weekend Review, Locked On MLB. I'm your host, Paul Francis Sullivan. Please call me Sully.